Good to have you on Models and Agents, episode 114, on July 17th, 2026. Let's see what shipped. Let's see what happened in the AI world today. And trust me, it's been busy. NVIDIA just dropped an open embedding collection whose 8 billion checkpoint tops the RTEB benchmark, while the 1 billion variant keeps nearly all accuracy at 2 times Blackwell throughput. NVIDIA released Nemotron 3 Embed on July 15 and 16. The 3 open checkpoints are Nemotron 3 Embed 8B-BF16, Nemotron 3 Embed 1B-BF16, and Nemotron 3 Embed 1B in VFP4. All 3 accept 32,768 token inputs under OpenMDW-1-1. Remember, we tracked open weight models and inference economics yesterday. This release adds a concrete new baseline for retrieval workloads on NVIDIA hardware and moves the open inference cost curve forward. The 8 billion BF16 checkpoint leads the RTEB leaderboard at 78.46 average NDCG at 10. The 1 billion models were created through model opt NAS pruning and COS plus MSE distillation from the 8 billion teacher. The NVFP4 version stays within 1% of BF16 retrieval accuracy, while delivering up to 2 times Blackwell throughput. Teams running RAG or retrieval pipelines now have an open option that trades minimal quality for large speedups on NVIDIA silicon. OpenAI's new voice model crossed a usability threshold for Sam Altman. He now talks to ChatGPT more than he types. Altman described the shift as moving past a prior friction point in daily interaction. The change reflects broader improvements in handling extended spoken exchanges without repeated corrections. Internal testing at OpenAI highlighted reduced latency and higher coherence in multi-turn voice sessions. The update aligns with ongoing work to make voice the default interface for many users. Altman noted the transition occurred after recent refinements to the underlying generation pipeline. TTCD runs diffusion language modeling in continuous space. Each token receives its own progression rate from noise to final state. A 160 million parameter model trained on open web text and then self-distilled matches or beats discrete baselines at high speedups. The method avoids parallel sampling errors common in discrete diffusion at aggressive acceleration. Researchers can test the self-distilled checkpoint on Sudoku or short-form conditional tasks. Polestar uses token representation drift under bidirectional attention. It decides when to refresh KV cache entries and when to commit tokens. On math and coding benchmarks, the approach delivers up to 10.73% accuracy gains and 3.7 times higher throughput versus prior diffusion LLM baselines. It reaches 3.67 tokens per forward pass. The training-free method works across multiple diffusion LLM families. Introspection fine-tuning fine-tunes models on their own perturbed forward passes. Tasks include sentence localization and strength comparison. Llama 1 billion accuracy on localization rises from 9.6% to 60.6% after the fine-tuning. The method generalizes to the held-out strength task with negligible degradation on standard capability benchmarks. T5 CS Boost keeps the original T5 next token objective. It adds a margin-based triplet loss on decoder embeddings. The model reaches state-of-the-art multi-class attribution and human versus LLM detection on OpenLLM text and HC3. It shows strong robustness to 90% intensity word and character level perturbations on the Mage and Deepfake suite. Q raised $5 million to scale its autonomous AI customer service agents. The Cape Town startup is expanding across the UK and South Africa. The agents operate without human handoff in targeted verticals. Early traction centers on high-volume support workflows where full autonomy reduces cost per ticket. OpenAI shared details on its racing collaboration. Joyce Ruffle and Race Tech Systems discussed turning track data into faster decisions with ChatGPT and Codex. The work builds on an earlier research collaboration with Chip Ganassi Racing. Small margins in racing map directly to agentic tool use patterns, where rapid iteration on structured data matters. Key bank analysts flagged weak customer adoption of Salesforce Agentforce. The critique centers on deployment friction and unclear return on investment for enterprise buyers. Teams evaluating autonomous agent platforms should compare current capabilities against narrower tools before committing. CrowdStrike's field CTO warned that compromised AI agents could amplify living off the land attacks. The concern centers on agents that already hold broad system access. Security teams running agentic workflows should add explicit tool use auditing and least privilege scoping now. The EU AI Act Open RAG dataset contains 933 legally structured chunks of Regulation EU 2024 over 1689. Chunks follow the regulation's native structure of articles, recitals, definitions, and annexes. Structural chunking improved recall at 20 to 0.541 versus 0.449 for a baseline. Legal NLP and compliance teams can download the SQLite file with BGE-M3 embeddings for immediate RAG experimentation. LBA builds an approximate distribution of high-quality adversarial examples by combining prior and posterior knowledge. It then samples from the resulting distribution to generate candidates. The method was evaluated on 6 language models and 4 datasets. It outperforms prior state-of-the-art approaches across every reported metric. Outputs maintain greater semantic preservation compared with earlier hard label techniques. The sampling step lowers the query cost relative to exhaustive search methods. Researchers building robustness evaluations should test LBA on their current hard label setups. AGGOPS uses a prompt writer, LLM, solver LLM, and evolutionary loop. It generates guidelines from reference answers without manual engineering. The method recovers 15.5 to 81.7% of the performance lost to underspecified prompts. Recovery was measured across math, medical QA, and coding tasks. Existing task examples are converted directly into reusable guidelines. Teams struggling with prompt consistency on a fixed task should run AGOPS on their reference set this week. Okay, let's pop the hood on multi-agent cascades. Intermediate transformations between agents systematically compress the semantic distinctions needed for accurate downstream decisions. In the collector-evaluator-decider pipeline, critical evaluation reduces label separability by 41.7% in embedding space on fact-checking, sentiment, and triage tasks. Simple identity pass-through preserves nearly all separation. Prompt-level regression explains 78% of the variance. When building multi-agent flows, measure inter-label separation in sentence transformer space after each stage rather than trusting final accuracy alone. Test the Nemotron 3 Embed 1B NuFi for checkpoint on your current retrieval workload to measure latency and cost gains versus your existing embedder. Download the EU AI Act OpenRAG SQLite file and run a structural-chunking RAG experiment on the 933 legal paragraphs. Run AGOPs on one of your existing task datasets with reference answers to generate reusable prompt guidelines. Evaluate T5-CS Boost on your own adversarial AIGT test set to check robustness under 90% perturbation intensity. Add drift-based KV cache refresh from the Polestar paper to any diffusion LLM inference loop you are already running. Sam Altman expects OpenAI's next 12 months to be its strongest yet. More details on OpenAI's Chip Ganassi Racing collaboration may surface as teams publish telemetry to decision tooling. Additional Nemotron 3 family checkpoints are likely given the rapid 8 billion and 1 billion release cadence. Tomorrow, keep an eye on further ARXY releases on per-token diffusion timing and introspection fine-tuning. That's models and agents for today. If you found this useful, share it with someone who's trying to keep up with all these changes, and subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's update. The AI world moves fast. We'll help you keep up. See you tomorrow, and if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at Nera Network. Links in the show notes. This show comes to you from the Nera Network. If you want another sharp daily briefing, Planetarian Daily has you covered. Daily breakthroughs in science, health, and longevity. All our shows are free at neranetwork.com. New to the network, neranetwork.com/start-here picks the right daily briefing for you in about 2 minutes. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.